You said it rightly that duality will always be there. You could say also between being more selfish and being more loving, more caring for nature or for whatever. So this duality will always exist, and dualities in nature also always exist in a movement. They are actually what creates the basic movement. Like if you go to essential physics, that's what physics will tell you. And so that movement will never stop. So then definitely in the Middle Ages, we might have a romantic view about it, but history seems to tell us otherwise. It was really like the Dark Ages, as they call it also. And there was so much bad things happening, so many wars, exploitation also of poor people by rich people. And I mean, So, then you can say, starting there a little bit with the French Revolution, where people got more rights, basically, compared to before, and then, ending up in this period now. So what you are now talking about is actually only like the last 5 or 10 years, that there seemed to be a little bit a different situation again. But you always have to see this as like a pendulum, moving. And the more it moves to that side, the more it'll move to that side. And it should actually come a little bit more near the middle and be more of a balance. So if you then point to the United States, what we see there after they elected the first black president of the States, there came a counter movement led by Trump, okay. And you can say the same thing in Russia at the time when Gorbachev was there, and he wanted perestroika and he wanted everything, to become very nice. Then also afterwards you got Putin, and he got like again the other side. So this will always go on. And this is actually not very relevant, even though many people are suffering of it, of course. But that suffering brings them also something, as we discussed before, so that's not very relevant. You have to see, the further people go away from the self, the more the self will pull them back. This is like a rubber, The more you pull, the harder it will pull you back. So this is there. The more unhappiness is there, the more people start looking for answers. Like, let's say, growing up in a nice family and having no trouble whatsoever of any serious kind until you are a full-grown adult is not necessarily going to make you in a very, interesting, inspiring, and compassionate person. It's the troubles that teach you that. It's through your own pain that you understand the pain of others, and that you start asking the questions, is there no other way? Why am I behaving like that? I don't want to be like that, but somehow it happens. How can I change that? And then you start working on yourself. So this is anyhow what is now there, let's say, in the States also happening. Many people are waking up, and understanding, yes, there's a different way. We cannot see this as our ideal America. We want something else. We want something where there is more care. So, you could hope then, at some point, next election or whatever, that again the swing will go to the other side. But I hope not too much. Because the more it goes to the other side, the more again the danger is there for a big, excessive, let's say, move to that side. And that's where the problems are always in the extremes. So in that way, don't worry. And there is another very important part of this story that some of you also will not have heard, even though it's come in some other videos years ago. This is the story about the fact that more than half of the current human population are in their first human incarnation. So this is very simple to explain. When I was young, there were 3 billion people. Now there's 8 billion people. So where did these 5 billion extra human souls come from? We can ask. And there may be some aliens and some higher beings descending on Earth, whatever, but I don't think 5 billion. So then logically we point to the animal kingdom, animals living close to humans like cats, dogs, farm animals and so on, who die. And then, there's like a lot of fetuses because of population growth among humans, a lot of fetuses for which there's no soul that previously was human is like interested. So then these animal things, why not? Drive a car and all that, watch TV. I also want to do that. So they like make that upgrade. But then they come in a very different body mind. A body mind with a brain which allows them choice, which they did not have very much as animals. Animals have a brain that largely predefines like how they have to behave. We call it instinct. But then with this big frontal part here, we can really think. And so then the fact that animals are usually mostly in the lower chakras active means these new humans, they are also mostly in the lower chakras active. And they again need experiences and especially some suffering to start asking the right questions and push the energy upwards. But if you look at animals, most animals, there are exceptions, but they are then said to be of a higher nature, let's say, a higher being or a human being incarnating as an animal, then behaving more like a human. But most animals on first chakra level, they will steal. They will even steal from their family. They will fight over the food. They like pleasure, of course. They like all kinds of pleasures, good taste, nice sunshine, sex, all these things. Animals, very interested. And some will have ego in the sense of third chakra status. The wolf who leads the pack, he's going to defend his position and all that. That's third chakra. But fourth chakra in most animals, only in warm-blooded animals, is active towards like close family and friends. Pack, you could say. But everyone outside is the enemy. Or at least the competition. So that is there. So that's how these humans are. They might really love their family, but they might steal from other people to feed their family, even if that's not like a need, but just like out of greed or laziness, whatever. They don't want to work. So this is the situation we are in now because of population growth. And this, of course, has gone on a long time. Because population growth is not a recent thing. Humans have been growing for thousands of years very rapidly. So all the time, new animal souls have entered the game of being a human, having this freedom to think, I want a palace, so I'm going to build a palace, but I'm not strong enough to build it on my own, so where can I find some slaves that, will build a palace for me? This has always been there. And only through doing that and, fulfilling these desires, actually, then the desires mature and more they go up. So I don't think I'm exaggerating when I'm saying then that more than half of the population is very selfish. I think that's very reasonable. Still means maybe like 45%, a big minority, is less selfish. So, but that anyhow, we have no hand in it. If we cannot stop population growth, this will continue. If population growth can stop, which it will, because the planet can no longer support it at some point, right? So at some point we will have to stop. Then give it 1 or 2 generations, humanity can really mature. Because then everyone will like grow out of that animal nature. Like if you used to have a tribe living somewhere in the Amazon, that tribe usually would not very much grow. Because, limited by the environment. They would be always like 50 people or 100 people living together like in a little tribe. So there, because we anyhow try to often reincarnate where we have been before to meet the people that we love. So there they are coming back to the same group again and again. And everyone is growing beyond that animal nature, except the occasional weirdo maybe. And then, society is very stable and very balanced in solar and lunar, and very much taking care of each other and not being very selfish, even though a little bit of selfishness is very natural. No? If I, was hunting the deer, at least I want the best piece of it. And then share the rest. So a little bit of that is anyhow natural also. No? Selfishness is born originally as a survival trait. No? It's part of our makeup. It's in our genes. So, but we are humans. So that means we are still animals, but we are also something more. Because we have this freedom. No? And so then we have the freedom to say, well, wouldn't it be nice if everyone was a little bit more nice? Which is what we've been doing. That's why we have so many laws about what is allowed, what is not allowed. How you deal with your neighbor. Don't make big sound after 10 p.m. It's a part of it. Yeah. But so don't worry. Anyhow, all the troubles that you see in the world are only pictures on a white screen, which will never be colored by them. The truth always stays the same, and you can always connect to that. And even if around you, okay, there's maybe a lot of things going wrong and darkness and so on, you should again not identify. Because most of that is making you feel that, oh, maybe all these beautiful ideas that I have about how we could be are wrong. No. We can merely say people are maybe not ready. No. But it doesn't mean these ideas are wrong. But it'll take time. So if we work on that, we help to produce that in society, we are not so much doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for the generations to come. We are doing it, for everyone who's interested. No? And so that is all. That is all. If we feel that it is our duty to defend something or fight for something or, teach something, then we should do that. But you cannot pull a person when they don't want. If they are not ready, it's no use. But the world, it's weird. I mean, for me also, let's say at my age, to see now suddenly things are not moving anymore like they were before. But this was anyhow what came before, a very exceptional period. From the Second World War, let's say, till a few years ago, there was no war in the European continent. Only small things, yes, Serbia, and okay, in the East anyhow there have been some problems, but nothing like a big war. And same you could say for the United States, even though, okay, they had also their fights elsewhere, but not in the United States. And this has been true for big parts of the world, not for everywhere, of course. So that was really exceptional. It never happened before, Before, all these wars were going on somewhere. And when one war ended, and the two parties, let's say the two countries who were at war, totally exhausted, then the third one comes in now I'm going. So this has been so long. So we have been blessed that it went for a while, most of it. And so that is great. But okay, now is again a little bit different situation. This brought a lot of uncertainty. We had a weird time. This is also again karmic. Because we not only have a karma as a person, the earth has a karma, humanity has a karma, even different peoples, you could say, countries have a karma. So that is there in the astrology, you could say, of planet Earth. Since the COVID time, something changed, no? And then different things came. Yeah. But that means also it will again change. When? Anyhow, we cannot wait for it. We have to do our best from our side. No? The karma works through us. If we don't move, nothing will move. No? But so anyhow, the main thing is whatever is going on outside in the world, never let it bring you down. It doesn't prove anything. Like many people feel it like that, like no, it proves that the world is bad and people are bad and it's no use to believe in anything. No. It's because the freedom that we all have that this happens. No, some people will say, oh, I don't believe in God because if God would exist, he would have made everyone good. But then it would have no value to be good because you'd be pre-programmed like a robot to be good. So it's this beautiful freedom that we have, where then Hari Johari says, well, if you don't want Hitler, you cannot have Jesus Christ or Buddha. No. You need to accept this freedom. And then you get these extremes. Yeah. So whatever happens in the world, don't let it take you down. Don't let it make you doubt. I would say the contrary. The more craziness you see outside of you, the more you have to work on your own sanity inside of you. The more you are stimulated to practice. And then you can deal with it. And that's just okay. Again, like you can say a problem, which at the same time points you towards an opportunity. Because every problem is an opportunity. And if you take the opportunity, then the problem ceases to actually be a problem. Because, yeah, as I said, whatever goes wrong in the world, you just meditate more. Or other things. And then how can you lose? So, again, ego is there, the main one. It's the ego who looks at the world, is like, oh, the world is so bad. I live in such a bad place. The I is already there, right? I live in such a bad place. How, better if I just also make a mess of it.